So it's the 31st of March 2025 and I'm down here at Hastings Pier. I'm just to the left side of the Hastings Pier, not too far away from it, but far enough that I can have some nice spread as to where I'm going to be casting. I'm going to be using two rods today. I'm going to be using the Sonic SK4 and a zziplex GSI and 5-ounce leads, and see how we go. I'm going to be fishing both close in and far out, and these lug are only 2 days old from this location. I've got these Mustard Ultima bass hooks. They're actually pretty decent hooks. The particular rig that I'm using here is a running ledger. You can see here how this is going to run. So the fish can literally take this hook here, which is a Mustard Ultimate Bass, and it can go away with it, and then it will lift this lead up. This is really particularly good for if you're in snaggy areas, but this is a nice long snood and it's ideal for this kind of weather. You can see there that it's not too rough, therefore a nice long snood is nice for a bit of movement in the water. I've also got a top panel as well there. You can just see up there that it's the same kind of configuration, only I've got a clip down here. There we go. I'll get that line down a little bit so we can get to the top one here. We don't need those tails. And we can extend this secondary hook, because we've got a little bit of a longer lug here. Oh, you're not going to cast this too far out. Certainly no need to cast this a long way. Get my old thummy on. It's not too bad the first cast because the line's dry, but after the first cast it gets rather wet. Put it on mag 4. I'll put this one reasonably close. this is not too far out. Put that there. And we get the next one set up. Next one is this Portsmouth rig. This is a nice all-rounder, and I can really put this some distance, and this is going to actually go some distance. I will cast this one first, because this I've just replaced the shock leader, and I had a crack off, and I didn't know why I had a crack off, but when I got home I found that there was a line wrapped underneath the line that was coming off, and I kept on pulling it off, and it was kept on coming out like that. So I'm not sure how deep that actually goes. Unfortunately, I don't have a damn lot of shock leader. I've run out of shock leader. Got some on the order. I'll just hit out a 5-ounce sled there. See how it's behaving. Yeah, it's fine. Quick little flick. It will be flooding in soon. The Portsmouth rig is rather a special rig. It's a rig that I use a lot. I normally use it in a pennel setup, i.e. 2 hooks, and there's an SRCT spring at the top here to take the shock of that. And I'll show you the way that this clips up in a minute. First of all, I'm going to get the bait on here, and then I'll show you how it clips up. So the way this is set up is we've got a top snood with an SRT spring, like that. And if we go down, you can see this hook here, we've got a cascade swivel. That's right there. We put this cascade swivel on there, and then that will give it the attention it needs to then hook onto the bottom there. And there you can see we've actually got a really nice slim-lined rig, and it will all open up when it's out there. And I'll work this one out a little bit further on my Sonic SK4 and my Daiwa 7HT mag. There's no bearings in this particular one. Going to set up my drone and see if I can take it off from here. We will see how that goes. We are now flooding in. Stop to get this gear back a little bit. Starting to flood in, and I'm seeing what it feels like now to be on the point where it's flooding, and I've got to move everything. There could well be a fish on this, but sometimes it's the grip lead that's gripping the ground. But it feels like there's something on there, even if it's small. Yeah, there's something on there. This saves the blank. That's always a good sign. You can save a blank. Well, maybe not. Just the grip lead doing its job. Oh no, there's a little rockling on there. He actually went for the top hook. There's a little rockling. We'll chuck him back. Just a little one. But it saved a blank, hasn't it? It saved the blank. This is the time when it's likely to happen. When the tide's on the move and there's a little bit of turbulence in the water, the fish will come in if they're interested. If they're looking for some food, they will come in. It's flooding in. There's not much line left on one of those reels, so I can't move back too far. With the chest cam on, it's not easy to pull the rod up and out of the snag or out of its breaker because it's in the way. The camera's in the way itself. Don't feel like there's anything on there. Okay. I am. It's hard work. Don't always do this, but I thought I'd give it a try. It's tough going. Your attention's all over the shot. I've got my camera there, camera on there.
Tide's coming in again as well.
Yeah. high tide's not so bad because you kind of settled down. There's no rushing tide in or anything like that.
Whenever the tide does, it's going to go out.
We're especially on the spring tide at the moment, so we've got a 7.8 metres. Yeah, you get 2 a month, and they're particularly low on the very low, and then very high on the high.
And do they come in quicker?
They come in way quicker, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So this 7.8 is likely to come up not far off where the steps are.
Right. Yeah.
So it's going to come in quite high, but yeah, it comes in very quick, which is why it's good times fish.
Yeah.
Because the more tide movement there is, the more chances the fish are going to come in closer to pick up
Okay.
natural baits off the floor, off the ground. So the Sonic SK4, it's been a while since I've casted with this, and it actually feels really nice. So far we've got a little rockling. It saved the blank, but I'm hoping there's going to be something else, at least a little bass or something like that. We are in March. The surf isn't that hard, so the current's not that hard, and we are on an easterly wind. The only thing that's really going for today is the fact that it's just lovely weather, and I've got some luck. That obviously helps. And we've got a spring tide. It's actually, I believe, a 0.18 on the low and a 7.8 metre on the high. So it's actually a good spring tide. But I think tonight's going to be the better session. We will find out. I hope to go tonight. We're actually an hour and a half into the low tide now. It's 9:30 a.m. So we'll see what happens. This is where you're glad you got wellies on. The amount of times I think I'm going to get away with it by wearing just normal trainers. And I think, oh, I'm not going in the water. Really? That's not always the case. So far the short range rod It's caught. If not only a very small fish, like a rockling, but it's caught. And it feels like there might be something else on the end of this one as well. This is the left rod, the Sonic SK4. This has got the running ledger, the very long snood at the bottom. No. Okay, we'll get out a little bit further, I think. Get into some deeper waters. Let's whack that out. This time we'll put it to the right of us.
How's it going?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Could be. No, not yet. Just a little rockling at the moment.
Right.
But
I noticed you sort of coming back and back and back.
yeah, it's a spring tide, so
really low, isn't it?
it's going to be going up to 7.8 meters at the top, and it was 0.18 at the low. So it's
Really low. It's huge tide.
yeah, it is a huge tide.
Right.
But tonight will be the night for catching. I just wanted to get out in the sun
Why is that?
because the bass, especially, they're predatory fish,
Yeah.
and they don't like sunlight or clearer waters. So they're more wary of predators. At night time, they will come in closer.
Okay. So you're here for the 24-hour fishing season?
No, I'm going to go home. I wanted to just get in the sun.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out in the open
Lovely, isn't it?
and bought my camera gear and that, so I can just record a little video. And I might get something
You never
decent. Never know,
You
but
never know.
I'd rather be out here than indoors. Yeah, thank you. So this is something I've really got to watch, got to be very careful of. If I haven't got the controller around my neck, I'm not going to hear the warnings to say that the battery's low. And then what ends up happening is it says it's going to land in 10 seconds. Now, luckily for me, I did update my home point to be at the controller position, but if I didn't, it would have went out into the sea and landed. So I fished 2 hours up now. It's just after 10 o'clock and I should have caught something by now. There's still a chance I can catch something, but really that golden time has really got to its peak. I would normally expect to catch within the hour of when the tide starts to flood. but there's been nothing so far. Either way, it's a lovely day. I've got out, I've got some nice shots, I think, and I'm going to be getting some nice casts as well within this, because I do like my casting. So just to catch up on what I've been doing so far is I've got 2 rods. The left rod is the Sonic SK4 in this particular case. I did start off with it the other way around on the right hand side, and the SK4 has got the Portsmouth rig, and the zziplex to the right has got the running ledger. I'm hoping there's going to be something there, but we will see. What I have found today is I haven't cast that Sonic SK4 for quite some time, and it actually feels nice to cast, and that's got a more tougher tip to that. So I'm wondering whether I do need a stiffer rod. The zziplex GSI has been really nice to cast, but I've just noticed this year that it's been a little bit soft on the tip, and it's not reacting as quick as I would like it to recover at the end, or even when I'm bending into a cast. I've been practicing with a 5.5 ounce lead, and I'm on a 5 ounce, and it just feels like really light, so it's definitely worth practicing on a lighter lead, or so I say on a heavier lead, and then fish on a lighter. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my tactic a little bit. I'm going to bring in the zziplex GSI, and I'm going to put some more lug on there, and I'm going to cast it near the structures but not too far out, and then see how I get on with there. And I'll keep the Portsmouth rig for the distance. I didn't actually bring a drink with me. I don't know why, because I did fill a bottle up. Maybe I just left the bottle on the side, but I didn't bring a drink. I don't only want it just to drink, but I actually want it because the rod stand fell over and I've got sand all over the reels. I'm going to put 4 lugworm on this running ledger, just so I can really pack it out with scent. It's flooding in nicely now. Got to keep an eye on my beach box, because it's not that far from the low tide flooding in. I have to get this in because there's just no line left on there.
Landing. Home point updated.
That was the wind. Pushing it back off that. See if it's okay, shall we?
Takeoff. Home point updated.
Lesson learnt there. Don't take off from the stand, the bait stand. Don't take off from that. So it's 10:45. The low tide was at 8 o'clock. So I think we've definitely done our time for the 2 hour up today. Just got one rockling. It saved a blank, but I think tonight would be better. But it's just lovely to be out, and I'm sure I've got some lovely footage today as well. So just bringing it in. This is the last cast that I put out now. This is the running ledger. Portsmouth rig. Again, there's nothing on that either, so it's definitely time to pack up and go. So that's the end of the session today. I'm ending it at 10:57, and I think that calls it the day for the 31st of March 2025. Thanks for watching, and subscribe and like if you want to, and come back for more, and hopefully next time we're better catch a little bit more, something to look at.